again. Yes, it is Startup and Innovators on the Atlanta Discourse channel. Yes, yes, yes. We have another startup in the house. I don't know if she's an innovator, but she's going to tell you her story. Yes, she is a she. Yes, she's a she. She's here with us. Yes, Rebecca. I want to be sure I don't get the name wrong. Rebecca
Yes,
Adedire. Yes,
yes,
I guess for today. Rebecca is dynamic in so many ways. She has background in tech and so many things, but she has a way of managing events. She has her own app and all that. Rebecca is the founder of Guest and Host. Did I get it right? Guest,
correct.
yes, Guest and Host, a fast-growing event tech startup transforming how event managers manage guests, send digital invitation and all that. That's innovative, so it's fair to also call you an innovator. So a startup innovator. I always like that when you combine both, So in our tradition, I mean, I have your profile, I can read it all day, but I always like when people tell their story. Rebecca Adedire, welcome to Atlanta Discover Startup and Innovators.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm so honored to be here. In fact, I'm more than grateful because it was really like me rescheduling, and then you were really very nice to see that, okay, let me work around the time despite the time difference. So thank you. And my name is Rebecca, just like I said. I have a background in engineering actually. I
Oh,
read
wow.
petroleum engineering at
Wow.
Afebabala University. That was in 2017 was when I left school. And I would say I'm a brilliant person because I had I had a first class degree, so I read
Oh,
my
wow.
head out while I was in school. And I mean, the amount of books I read there made me feel like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this again. Why is this so hectic? Life shouldn't be this hard because I have other hobbies, right? And being
Mm,
in university wasn't allowing me to explore all those things because I needed to like, okay,
mm,
the only way for me to make it in life is to study hard, which I did. And
mm,
I'm happy I was able to do that too. So going forward, I also went ahead to have a master's in business administration, right?
mm.
You'll be wondering, I mean, this girl, are you okay? How will you have engineering first degree and then you feel like MBA is the way forward? Come on. I am always easily influenced, basically. When I see people who are successful and I always, I ask about what did you do? I'm just going to feel like that's the road, right? Let me follow it. I mean, this slang that says follow who no road. I think you literally want to follow who has gone through
Oh,
that path. So I think along the line, I met somebody who was an engineer that was doing well and
mm,
wasn't in the field, right? And the person said, oh, my path was I went for masters, I had an MBA, so which makes me, you know, allowed me to be an executive. And I thought, oh, that's a good part for me too, right? As a petroleum engineer or someone who graduated with petroleum engineering degree, I didn't feel like it would be nice for me to, be on the field. Like I'm a soft girl. I don't like hard life.
mhm,
Let me be in the office and, doing managerial stuffs.
mhm.
So that made me to go for an MBA. I went to do that in Dangote Business School at Bayero University, Kano.
Oh,
And
wow.
I also did well. I mean, I must have already at the top of my class, even though I didn't bother trying to know who did, but I assume it was me. So after I left then was when I I didn't really know anything about tech. So also you'll be wondering how did I get into tech? So part of my journey also was after I left, the first job I got was in a tech firm.
Mm.
And what their company does is they provide the software solution for managing downstream oil and gas businesses.
Oh,
So oil and
wow.
gas businesses like fuel station, gas plants, tank farms and everything. And I was in charge of selling that software solution. So
Mm.
for me to want to sell something, at least I need to know about what it's like, what it entails,
Absolutely.
how does it work.
Absolutely.
So so that was when I met, developers in the business and I was selling that product and I was also training people on how to use the product.
Mm.
So you can imagine it was a whole lot. So for me to be training you on how to use the product, and I need to know the product in and out. I need to know how to use it from A to Z, doing
Mm.
demos and coming on site to their companies to train them on how to use that software. So I'd converted customers like AA Rano,
Mm.
most oil firms that have downstream businesses that are domiciled in the north. I'd spoken to most of their business managers. I'd even spoken to a lot of gas plants. So that was where I started to I started getting to know about tech, like, okay, tech, this tech. And So I think I wrote my first line of code around 2022. Even though I've been hearing about tech prior to them, but I didn't feel like it was for me. I didn't read computer science. So why do you think it would be appropriate for me after studying so hard? Now to
Mhm.
go and be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Oh God, I feel you. Don't worry. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
So that was when the whole thing started, and I was like, okay, let this tech thing. They said is a new oil money. At least I'm not even in an oil company, but I kind of career path I wanted to. But they said tech is a oil money. Is the
Mhm.
new. You need to learn a tech skill if you want to still be useful. Just the way they keep saying AI. If you don't know
Mhm.
AI now, I'm pitying you, sir. Go and learn.
We've had it all before. Don't worry.
I'm telling you,
We've had it
that was
all
how
before.
they were talking about tech in 2020, prior to COVID, 2019, 2018. In
Mhm.
fact, it felt like if you were not coding and you're within that age range of in your early 20s,
Mhm.
you might be missing a way on a career path that, but not everybody was really much interested in that. So I was like that initially, like this is not for me. This is not for me. But it felt like all of the roles I was seeing was about tech. They
Mhm.
needed a senior developer. They needed somebody who's a front end developer. They needed someone who's a UI UX. I was just even confused. Eventually, I started to learn how to code, and because I'm the kind of person that it wasn't just about learning for me. I understood the challenge of actually seeking a job. Like
Mhm.
it's not so easy. And I've always been someone who thought about looking at the bigger picture in things. When people find or see problems, what I see is opportunities. Like how can I even leverage on whatever problem is going on to make something for myself. So I knew that even if I was learning to code, I would definitely want to build a solution that I can use to earn money, because I was also beginning to see that tech is quite different. It's a scalable business that once you have the infrastructure, you are able to make money for a long time. Once you have the infrastructure, and you probably don't need to be in multiple places at the same time. Just have that solution. Either it's a mobile app or it's a web app, and people are able to use it. You can service multiple people at the same time, which was a great flex for me. I felt like, yes, I think this is the business for me. But it also has its own hurdles I didn't know as well. I didn't know that, hey, building the product is just 1/100. Getting into business is the most, is the hardest part of it. So that was what brought, my journey to tech. And I'm so happy that even, that my first job was in a tech firm, at least it opened my eyes to what humans can actually achieve. Because regardless of what you studied or the skill set you have, you can always be in another field, in another career. You can always still learn,
True.
and you can always still get new skills and become someone else. So that's just a bit about me. But overall, my personality would be someone who is, I'm quite conservative. I'm only very, very open to people that are quite close to me. So I'm not a typical extrovert, but I'll be an extrovert when I'm comfortable around you. So my hobbies would include trying, I love to learn, I love to explore, I love to I love to discover. And uh, so that's just basically about me. I love to, I would also say I love to create because, yes, I'm an innovator. So if I'm not creating, then no. So I love to create, which makes me an innovator. So even if something is done already, or I will look for means to make it better. So that's just about me in a nutshell.
Fantastic. I was looking here, I saw you're a storyteller and a content creator, So I was like, okay, let me see. But I haven't heard you talk now, I mean, I can see that you have it in you. But now you got into tech. How did you now decide to use tech to manage events, conferences and all that? What led to that trajectory? What drove you there? What pushed you there? Because you
All
have
right.
skills now, so you now need to know where to tailor it or what to do with those skills. How did you end up with a tech event management, company?
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much. So prior to Guest and Host, which is a startup that I have. So
Hmm.
Guest and Host, what we do is we provide a solution for sending out personalized QR code digital invites for private events like weddings, birthdays, and the likes, and also tickets for public events like maybe conferences or concerts, festivals, or shows. So what led to me building that solution was just in 2020, that will be in 2020, maybe 2021. Yes, to be precise, 2021. I just immediately after the whole COVID restriction was lifted. A friend of mine had a wedding, and the wedding was held in Abuja, and I currently reside in Lagos. So I got the invitation to attend that event because I bought Ashwebi. And I think what happened then was she already shared that Ashwebi. The invite was shared alongside the Ashwebi. So unfortunately, I forgot my invitation card in Lagos. And on getting to the event, I was denied entry. And for me,
Oh,
it felt like, oh, this is, I mean, there should be better ways to administer guest entry. I mean,
okay.
people can easily lose their invite. It could be duplicated and you get to be embarrassed at the entrance and you won't be permitted, into the event. And then prior to then, I think maybe 5 years or 10 years, even before that 2021, there was a time that my dad got invited to an event and it took me along with him to that event. Unfortunately, the invitation card it was given only permits one person. So I was denied entry because he
Oh,
said
wow.
he's the only one that could go in. And to me, I was young then, I didn't really know about tech. But what I noticed then was my dad decided not to go in for that event anymore because he felt he can't leave me outside and go in. So let's just go back home. And so I started connecting the dots like, oh, look at what happened then. Look at this now. Like, there should be better ways that, invites can be administered, right? And besides, I was comparing all of the drawbacks of, paper invites, the cost, the issues when it comes to you're not able to track RSVP. And then there was a movie too that I was that I mean that movie was in maybe 2017 thereabouts, Wedding Party. If you
Okay.
recall, in that wedding party, Shola Shobawale was the mother, the bride's mom,
Yeah.
and you watched that movie, right?
Oh, I have. I have. Yeah. I have.
Yes. So that movie, I think some of their invites got leaked, and the guy got access to it, and he came to that event uninvited. And what he did was he came with intentions to rob. So
Oh, wow.
at some point, he held the bride's family hostage, saying they need to give him money, blah, blah, blah. So I was looking at all of those drawbacks that, no, invitation cards can't even be the way to go. I've also had families who had, to print invitation cards and then they need to distribute it, tell somebody to help them give somebody. That challenge, like, no, this is the digital era, so there should be a better way to do it. So basically, that was what led to the development of guest and host. Let's find a way that invites can be digitally distributed and the host can be able to connect with their guests on a simple platform. They're able to also check them in, faster. They're able to communicate with them before the event, after the event. And they don't have any issues with uninvited guests or having to have more people at the events than expected. So things like plus ones are taken care of. If at all somebody wants to come along with someone else, there would have been an agreement where that person's invite has a plus one or a plus two. So literally that was what bet the guest and no solution. And then I didn't even go ahead to do any market research or visibility studies or even seek people's opinion. As long as I knew that, yes, there was a problem and such solutions exist in developed countries. You must have heard of RSVPify, paperless posts,
Yes. Yeah.
Evite.
You're
They
right.
already
Yeah.
exist, right?
Yeah.
So why can't I build something that
Like that in
can be
Nigeria.
used in
Mhm.
Nigeria? And that was it. And because of events are also in different forms. Some events are private, they need to send invite. Some events are public, they need to, sell tickets to access them. So we need to build a one-stop solution that takes care of that. So that was what brought us to Gestanos, basically.
Did you build it?
Yes, at the earlier stage, I
Mhm.
was actively involved in the building of the product. I must have designed more than 70% of the UI UX of the product. And
Wow.
uh, the front end as well. I was also involved in the HTML, CSS, the beginning part of it, but because you can't do it all on your own, right? Solutions are they are multifaceted. You need different skill sets on board. So I had to bring a co-founder who was skilled in backend development that could write the logics And
Oh,
I brought in other front-end developers as well to join in the development of the product. But I was actively involved in the development. But right now, my focus is really on selling, business development, growth, and getting us to market and revenue growth. Basically, that's what I'm focused on right now.
interesting. So do you have like an app or just a
Yes, we
website?
do.
Okay.
Um,
So to
when,
contact,
when somebody
oh,
says, "Do you have
mhm.
an app?" You might feel like an app only has to be something you download on the Play Store.
Yeah, I mean that's a general thing, but the app serves more than that. The purpose is more than that.
Yes, so we have an app, but it's not that kind of app that you
Mm.
access via downloads. Our
Oh,
app
okay.
is a web app. All you need to do is go to www.guestandnotes.com and then you get access to our app. You can create an account, you can sign up, you can start to create your events, start accepting ticket registrations or start selling tickets or even start to send invites for your private events.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll put all your details in the description for this episode so that people will see. And I mean, the whole idea is to showcase what you young startup are doing, what you young innovators are doing. I mean, I was enjoying listening to you, I mean, it's almost, when you study engineering, I'm sure you didn't know this, but now you know, or maybe you do know. You see, when you study engineering, if you go to the banking sector now, banking sector, even in Nigeria, all over the world, you see a lot of engineers there, the engineers that are teaching now, the engineers doing businesses that has little or nothing to do with engineering. But the grooming in the university prepares you, gives a wide, horizon, a very broad one, so that you'll be able to
True.
stretch. Yeah, so I'm not surprised. I mean, if you have first class in petrochemical engineering, that's a lot because it's a voluminous course. Chemical and chemical engineering, petrochemical, it's very voluminous. I don't think
Yes.
it's as hard as maybe electrical or electrical electronics, but it is voluminous. So you have to do a lot of reading. So I'm not surprised
Yes.
that how well you're doing. So what are some of the significant trends, we have in event management today that you are probably doing differently? I mean, for example, let's say I want to patronize you now. So try and market me and anybody else that is listening. Okay, I want to have a wedding for my son or a 60th birthday, and I come to you, what do you have to offer me? Oh, okay. I heard your name and I came to meet you. This is what I want to do, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So what kind
Amazing. So that's good because that's the role I serve right now on
of.
my on guest channel. So you're having a private event like a birthday or a wedding, and
Mhm,
I do know that you want to send out invites. Ordinarily, what most people will do is maybe get a graphic designer and then they
mhm.
they print a graphics and then they start sending that graphics to people as a means of invite. But let me tell you that, of course, that's not the way to send out invites, right? Because the invites will be forwarded so many times that even if you have at the back of your mind, you're inviting just maybe 400 guests, the same 400 guests, they have friends also to the tune of maybe 600. At least each person might even, let's say, have additional one friend they want to come along with based on
Yes.
your graphic. And
Mhm.
eventually you come and then you will be so unprepared. So the same people that you are trying not to disrespect by not probably sending them a formal invite, you're going to disrespect them by your own preparedness and your chaotic events when they come and then they don't have a place to sit or food has finished or drink has finished. But with guest notes, you're able to send a personalized QR code invite through digital means, either email, SMS, or even WhatsApp to all of your guests. And they are able to RSVPs. To RSVP means that they put in their response. Oh, I will be coming, I won't be coming, or maybe.
So how
And
many
with that,
people are coming?
yes. So with that now, you're able to have a structured guest list. You're able to communicate with them any updates or whatsoever. You're able to even send them appreciation notes. They're able to get reminders, leading to the day of that event. And with this now, on the day of your event, you're also able to properly check them in. Because it's
Mm.
one thing to send out invites, another thing to also see that, yes, these are the real, genuine people that you're
So
inviting.
like they say in Yoruba, no mogba moya, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
as
so
well. So,
you're uninvited, you don't bother coming, right?
exactly. Yes.
And like in
So
your case with your dad, you probably would never have left home with your dad in the first instance if you had not signified earlier on that you understand. So
can you
but
imagine?
it was a good daddy. I mean, he didn't leave me behind, you know. So and you see, that's why they say one bad thing, every bad experience is not entirely bad. You understand?
Yes.
But you learn from, I mean, those experiences helped you. You had one, two, three event experiences, and that just came to you and like, why should events be organized like that? I mean, that's extraordinary. But let me put this to you. What are the major mistakes event planners and all those people that organize parties, apart from what you just said, what other mistakes would they make that your platform is helping to rectify, apart from what you've told us so far?
Okay. For event organizers, the major mistake that I know they do
Mhm.
is the fact that they do so many things, but they don't put the guests in as their priority.
Mm.
Event organizers, or let me just say professional event planners, are
Okay.
mostly really concerned about the vendors. Oh, a caterer, a DJ, we need a venue, we need music, we need sound, but we need at least we need decoration. But you see, the guest is not on top of their mind at all. Because if you're doing all these things and the guest is not really your priority, then you're not doing anything. Because
Absolutely.
for instance, now I have a house and I'm organizing a small party and my house has a limit. Maybe the limit to my house is 100. And literally I'm planning that event and I'm putting food, I'm putting music, making sure that all of those things, my house is clean, I get a decorator. But the people that are coming, I'm not actively like planning for them to say, okay, this is my guest list. These are the people that I'm expecting. Not more than this is what is coming. So for most event organizers, what I know they do is that the guest is not their top priority. They do all of those things. In fact, sometimes invite is at the last minute. You'll
Mm.
be surprised that when people are hosting events, that event is happening maybe on Saturday, but there is no formal invite that has gone out to people, to their guests, letting them know that, oh, this event, I'm inviting you. It's just about, oh, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. So most of their challenge, most of the way they plan events, and it's a thing that I see that it's probably Nigerian culture, even corporate events, even big awards, sometimes you see that they take our invitations or tickets are at the last minute. So I think that is another issue because at the end of the day, people now come and it's beyond what they imagine. Because what they have been doing is to tell so many people, but they have not been keeping track of indeed those who they are inviting and those who are coming, or even those who they are telling. Because if I'm telling you, I don't know if you're telling someone else, but if I
So,
officially invite you, I don't expect you to go and invite someone else or officially invite someone else. So
so that
those are,
there's always a problem with crowd management at the end of the day.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. So that is what I really observe that event
Where,
organizers are doing
where
right
does
now.
your work end? Where does it end? When they contract you out, you're doing all this digitalization, guest list, and all that. Where does your work stop? Because you're not the event manager, you're not the caterer. So where does your responsibility stop? When the guests
Oh,
go in,
yeah, amazing. I think that's part of what makes us different. So Guest
okay?
and Notes is a self-service application.
Absolutely.
Yes. So with this now, you just need to create an account to sign up and create your event. If you already have your guest list written down, you can easily upload your guest list and everybody gets an invite, either if you put their phone numbers or if you put their email addresses. And if perhaps you don't have that, you can collect it from your guests and start to do that to send them their invite. So the invite is personalized to them.
Mhm.
And then you can be receiving their RSB responses. You have access. The tool is yours for you to use. And then it's self-service to the point where even if you can't handle it on your own, you can onboard some of your team members or maybe your family members who are also co-hosting that event alongside you to also send invites to their own guests that will be coming. And on the day of your event as well, if you have ushers, you know, on the event, you can also add them as check-in members. We can easily call them scanners. And what they do is anybody that comes to that event, they can easily show their invite and then they can scan that invite by, they can verify that invite by scanning the QR code on that invite or
So
check for their
you need
details.
your phone, right? You need your phone, or how do you scan?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you need your phone. As long as you have an internet-enabled device, you're able to use the application to do
There are
that, to
people
check.
that don't have internet-enabled device. Mm. I
You
mean,
mean you mean the ushers?
now I'm talking phones now. I mean, your visitors, there are people from rural area that
Yeah.
don't
So
have.
on our platform as well, um, you don't necessarily always for people like that, just make sure that they are on your guest list. So when
Okay.
they show up, you can also search for them and confirm them manually without them showing you their QR codes or anything.
So your job ends, you're just creating that platform. You don't have to be at the venue. You don't need to show any representation, physical representation. Just they use your platform and that's all.
In most cases, I mean, we've had a lot of events use our platform for invites, and they happen in places like remote areas in Delta states, Enugu states. If they
Mhm.
don't commission us to come and do check-in service for them, we won't be there. Their
Oh, okay.
ushers can take care of it themselves. Their own team members can take care of it themselves. But if you pay us to come on site, we can come on site for check-in support for
Mhm.
you. So for big shows like conferences, concerts, they usually pay for that service. So our team members would be on site to check in their guests. So even recently, as at last night, there was a show that happened in Ikorodu. It was an Easter show, and our platform was used for tickets for that show. So they had to pay our team members to be on site to check in those guests to verify their tickets and check in. But if at all they don't pay us to do that, their own team members can do it because all you need is to see that you have an internet-enabled device to do that.
So has it been financially rewarding for you?
It's an early stage tech startup,
Mhm.
basically. In terms of financial rewards, we in fact we are revenue plus right now. We are at revenue, and we although we are not at where we are supposed to be, and we are not at where we dream to be, but it's a journey. It's a
So
journey.
how do you get paid? Does the person that contracts with the event, the celebrant or whoever pays you directly a lump sum, or how do you get paid?
Okay, yeah, how we get paid is this. It's in two parts. So if you're hosting a public ticketed event, maybe a show or a concert, we charge 5% of your ticket sales.
Okay.
And if you're having a private event, maybe it's a birthday or a wedding or a burial, or as long as it's a private event that you're sending out invites, we charge per invitation. So currently, we are driving adoption for the solution. So we are charging the lowest right now.
Okay.
Other competitors that are providing invitation services charge as much as 1,000 naira per invite. But right now, we charge 200 naira per invite. So if your guest size, you're looking at 200 guests, so all you need to do is create your event, pay for the numbers of guests, numbers of invites you want to send out, and then that's it. So for 200 guests, that's 40,000 naira. So you pay on the application there, and then it allows you to send 40 up to 200. And if you've exhausted that 200 and you still need to send more, you can top up again and keep sending your invites. So the way that one is charged is just per invite, but you get access to all of the functionalities of the guest management solution, which includes the reminders, the plus one, the check-in, the uh,
Who
the email
designs
updates,
who
all of
designs
those things.
the invitation? The celebrant
You
or you?
you 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 upload your custom invite.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
everything is embedded. Wow. Interesting. That's good. You say you like you like telling stories, you're a content developer. Can you tell us about that part of you? What
Oh
content?
yeah. So in fact, if I wasn't going to do any other thing with my life anymore,
Mm.
I would just really just focus on content because content is something I do. And aside the fact that, of course, I want to be visible, I want people to know that I do it. It's kind of hectic to do. It requires a whole lot because doing content can also really require a whole lot of time. But speaking of content, I got into content in officially in 2028. Yeah, 2020. Yes, just immediately after the COVID, 2020. I started my YouTube channel there, and it was called People and Places with Amoke. So because I did my master's in Kano State, I was showing people, I was making documentaries of people, places. I visited a whole lot of places. The dye pit. I did documentaries about leather. how most of the leathers that were used currently in creating designer bags like Gucci, Prada were sourced locally from tanneries in Kano. I made a lot of documentaries. I talked about life in the north. I talked about, in fact, I created a whole lot of content then that my channel was quite promising. But it was until I left Kano and I got back to Lagos, and because I was really much interested in outdoor content,
Mm.
people and places. Remember, that's the name of my channel. We are discovering people and places. But when I got to Lagos and the drawbacks of me
I think
making
I've
outdoor
actually,
videos,
I think I've seen it before.
for real.
So I'm not sure, but I think so. When you said people and places, so I'll probably look for it. I've just written it down. You still
Okay,
have it?
so yeah, the channel is still there, but the name is now Amoke herself. In fact, the last
Uh,
time I posted was probably early this year. And the core thing I wanted to create with that channel, I wasn't doing it anymore. If I abandoned it, and even till now, I get a lot of people telling me that, Rebecca, come on, because I had a very good commentary. I was
mm.
a great storyteller. I could
I can
tell.
see that. You see, I'm listening. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, so I myself, I'm like, come on, like this is my hobby. I was a great storyteller. I was doing interviews. I was, discovering things, asking questions, and was quite educative. I did videos. I did a road trip from Kano to Lagos by bus, and I literally filmed everything, the stopovers, how much I bought the food I had on the way, challenge, all of those things. So it was quite educative how much I bought my ticket. So if you were going to embark on such experience on a road trip from Kano to Lagos and you watch that video, you would know what to expect, how the duration and everything, because those were the kind of videos I was doing. But on getting to Lagos, and Lagos is a crazy, hostile city. You're making outdoor videos and then people are not even receptive to to that. You get people on the streets that are interested in just extorting you for bringing out the camera. So it was just too much work for me, and I felt, I don't even have strength.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So, uh, along your line, doing business, guest and host and all that, has it ever at any moment occurred to you that maybe you should just go and practice your petrochemical engineering instead of, have you reached whereby there were so many hurdles and obstacles, or you were just tensed up? Because that happens for business people, like, let me just go to the easy way out. I'm a first class graduate student, I have masters, I have MBA. Because if you go to Dangote refinery now, they will employ you. They will. You have first class already. Yeah, and
I've
like,
never even thought of doing that to go
yeah,
to
but
the bank. I
yeah, they
think
will.
all through my days of job hunting, all the means I use in searching for jobs were via online means. I just saw random applications and then I apply, random applications and I apply. Sometimes I get interviewed, but I don't get employed. It was hectic. For me, I felt like I'm the material you
Was a
need in
waste of your time,
civilization.
right? You felt
Sir?
was a all those interviews were a waste of your time.
If it was even a waste of time, it would have been better. Most times it was the process.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you write standardized tests like GRE, GMAT that are timed, that
Mhm.
even you yourself you'll be like, you that are trying to employ me, can you really do this kind? Like, if they give you this test, will you write it? So it was for me, in fact, it was hectic. So as at that period, I was putting out applications. I was on You'll be in some interviews. Sometimes internet could be your issue. Uh Sometimes it could be that you're not able to hear all of those things, and then you're not given a second chance because there are a lot of people, they are also, in the
Yeah,
line, also trying to get that job.
a
It
lot
was
of
quite hectic for me. In fact, it was very hectic. At some point, I started to think about it in a way that, that you have within you to be who you want to be, and your life really should not really be dependent on somebody giving you
mm,
that job, right? So for me, it was when I started thinking inwards, like I know what a job could do. I know the importance of having a job, the security of a job. But then if I'm going to be going through this amount of stress, depression, in order for me to even secure one,
mm,
despite that, I have a good educational qualification, for me, it was quite discouraging. So that was
mm,
literally what was that was the point that, let me say, the last straw that broke my camel's back. And you know what? I'm really going to try my best to grow my startup regardless, because for me, I now understood that there was literally nothing that comes easy, except you have that leverage. Maybe you're well connected, someone you know was well
No,
connected.
even at that, you have to pay some price. There's some pain you have to endure somewhere along the line, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing is really a la carte. Even if your father is a billionaire, I mean, you have to
Exactly.
earn your epaulet somewhere along the line, you know.
Along the line. So it
Yeah.
was then I just felt that, you know what, put in your energy, try what you're doing. I mean, just do what you have to do. But even at that, there are hurdles in the startup world. Like I said at the beginning of the interview,
Lot,
I said
a
building the
lot.
product is 1/100
Mhm.
because building the product is the least.
Mhm.
Anybody could build a product. Do you know how many people are skilled right now in terms of
Mhm.
IT software
Mhm.
development? There are so many. And the fact that we don't have industries to put a lot of people, let me say more than 50% of us would
Mhm.
probably end up building a software solution for the purpose of building
Or,
a
or
software.
or move abroad, right?
Yes, or move abroad
Mhm.
and or probably even freelance and get gigs and everything. So for me then I just knew that it was hard. It was really hectic. Um, but along the line, what keeps me going is the bigger picture. I'm just going to keep, doing this because even right now, I've said to myself, what I'm building, guest and knows the solution I'm building, it shouldn't deprive me of doing other things that I want to do. I've built the
Absolutely.
infrastructure. I currently have a glimpse as to what success looks like. Because I've had people use our solution for concerts, I've had people use our solution for conferences, I've had people use our solution for private events, birthdays, weddings, even burials, they pay. Because they now
So
begin to,
if
yes,
I have a lot of people in government, I have a lot of INs friends, and I mean, you never know. And someone like Aliko Dangote, or maybe Abdul Samad, or most of these iron guys, rich ex guys, a lot of them are into oil. They have engineering related companies in Nigeria, all these gencos, generating electricity,
yes.
and they watch this. They're like, okay, this is the kind of person. Let me say, because your details will be there because I'm going to share your website details, the
Oh,
description.
wow.
Yeah, I
Thank you
mean
so
that's
much.
that's
In
why we're
fact,
doing what we're doing, is to give you guys
yes.
publicity.
Okay, that's really amazing. But for me, I just
And they
keep,
call you. Let me finish. And you get your phone rings, oh, my name is Aliko Dangote, and
Mr. Balogun, I
I was
beg,
very impressed
please.
with your interview. But
Anyways, I would
indeed,
really appreciate. I'm very, very open-minded. Anywhere that I'm able to give value, I'm that kind of person.
I'll take
I'm
that
very,
as
very
I'll take that as a
yes.
yes. So what's next for you? What's the next big thing? I mean, are you expanding? Do you have partners? Do you have people you're working with? I mean, based on guest and host, where you taking it to now? Are you expanding?
Um.
Can it work
Okay.
anywhere else outside Nigeria? Those kind of things. You know,
For real, it can. It does.
it
So if
does.
you're having a wedding or a private event and you're outside Nigeria, we
Mhm.
can accept dollar payments for you to use our platform to send out invites.
Mhm.
But speaking of our team right now, we are just a very small team. We are a team of 4, and
Okay.
most of us are okay. We have 2 who are full time. They are employees in the business, so they have to be there full time. And then myself and my CTO, who is also my co-founder, that makes us 4. So basically, for me right now, going forward, my goal is to just stabilize the platform, keep it moving, make sure that it keeps running because it's important for me to do that. And personally, my own self, what I want would be that, of course, even though I still want, I still look out for opportunities in terms of employment opportunities. In fact, I'm still very much open to that. I still do freelance as well. I said I have tech skill, right? So at least I need to also still pay the bill. So I do web apps. I do UI UX design. I do web. In fact, most web apps, maybe you have a web, you need to do is maybe you want an application, but it's a web-based application for something really small or even something big. Maybe you want like a job board or you want to create a web application that
Well,
allows.
already from what you're saying, I can picture. I think I might have something for you. I might have.
Okay, so that's I still I freelance, I do that. But at the same time, I'm still very much open to employment. But in my own vision, I believe it's a safe space actually. Part of what I would want would be to, take my solution to a country that it is very much receptive to use a solution like this. Because if Guest and Host was in a country like the UK, our growth would have been much more massive than this because there was no need for adoption. It already exists. Ordinarily, you're hosting an event, you are going to send out invites. So, but here in Nigeria, people are still kind of not so informed. It's only maybe some events that are really, really critical about guest management that would literally,
Yeah,
not even.
but in Nigeria, when we catch up, we overdo it. When we catch the bug, we overdo it. By the time everybody's time saying, you have to do it, or it's digital, digital. Everybody, because there's always a bandwagon effect. There's a
True.
guy I interviewed about 6 weeks ago or 2 months, great guy. He has a company called Oga Tickets. I'm sure you have heard of him. You know,
Yes, yes, yes.
it's similar to what you're doing. He's based in Atlanta. Now, let me
Yeah.
tell you from what I think, right? I read a lot about the Microsoft guys, how they came together and all that. One of the lessons I've learned, I mean, I'm a business owner myself, you understand? So, uh, yeah, and I also work, you understand? So you can see that I can relate to a lot of things you're saying. So this guy, he does the kind of thing you do. I think you should get together with him. So back to the Microsoft, one of the things I've learned is that it's better, sometimes to even own 10% of a bigger company, you know,
Correct.
than own
Correct.
100% of a small entity.
In
You
fact,
I'm telling you,
that's
because he's
most
there in
important.
Atlanta is doing very well. You are here. You guys are, I think it's a match made in heaven. I don't mind
Mhm.
you guys. I don't mind brokering, a meeting. Don't worry, you don't have to pay me. I'll just do it. Because I actually believe in what you guys are doing. It's there in
Yeah.
Atlanta, it's there in Nigeria.
Mhm.
You can build a conglomerate out of it.
That's true.
I'm sure the areas is strong, you are weak, where you're strong is weak and all that. But at the end of the day, synergy, you know. Now,
Correct.
those Microsoft guys, one of them, I can't remember which one, as a guy that I think invested $1,000 when they were struggling from one garage at that time. And when the guy was going to sell his shares, I think he got about, was it 10 billion or something?
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, they started with nothing, and see as Microsoft just blew. Look at the Apple guys,
Mm-hmm.
it's always going to be tough in the beginning. You just
Exactly.
consistent. You understand? You have to be
That's
very,
true.
you really have to be. Sometimes it look as if life is going to end. That sometimes you are tired. That what is this thing that we're doing? I always tell people I've spoken to and people I met are like, look, that's even a good sign. When things look
Wow.
as if it's upside down, it's a fantastic sign. If you give up, you will regret yourself. I'm telling you. When you see
Wow.
people that have made very good money, you understand. Look at the Aliko Dangote. I was talking. At the time, it was like if the refinery was never going to be completed. Do you understand?
True. True.
I mean,
That's
look at him now, is I mean, look at the way his value just quadrupled or I mean, you understand?
yes.
I mean,
Yes.
he can and the refinery is working well. If when he I'm sure when he told his friends he was going to do it, they're like, what's this guy talking about? You understand? Look at
You're
this.
correct.
I'm telling
You
you.
could have even discouraged him.
Well, I'm discouraging. The likes of Bill Gates, when they left Harvard and were trying to build something that looked like a computer and all that, people were like, this guy is crazy. You understand?
True.
But you see, as a visionary, you know what you're seeing. You understand?
Yes.
I have an online newspaper now that I'm paying salaries. You understand?
Yes.
I'm paying salary. I'm not making money at all. I'm just paying
They
salary.
just pay salaries.
Just paying
Wow.
salary. You understand? I don't even know for how long I'll do that, but I'm just doing it. I just want to get
That's
it.
sacrifice.
That's a sacrifice. You understand? I'm paying it. I don't owe anybody, nobody. I mean, not indebted. I'm paying as when
And yes.
you understand. The people that I'm paying, they're happy doing it. You understand?
Wow.
I have one or two partners with me. They are reliable people too. We believe in what you're doing.
In the vision, yes.
Yeah. So when you were telling me about your four people, your co-founder, the lesson I learned from there is that you need people that key into the vision. You understand?
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's also important because one unbeliever can scuttle everything. You understand? I'm telling you. Be
Yeah,
shocked.
very correct.
Yeah. So I'm impressed, I'm very impressed. Rebecca,
Thank
you're
you
doing
so
very
much.
well. I'm going to link you up with Organic. I think you should sit down and talk.
Okay, that was fine. I think I have his contact as well
Even if
from
nothing
the
comes out,
group.
yeah, you can let me know, reach out to him if you want me to be there. I broker these kind of things a lot.
Oh,
You know,
this nice.
there's a lot of power in synergy. You understand?
True.
I've listened to you talk. I've listened to he doesn't talk too much like you. You understand? Yeah, he's a logistic guy. He gets things done. You understand? So I
True.
think with you and your co-founder, with him, and you guys, you'll be shocked at how much you're talking about in millions of dollars. In the
Mm-hmm.
next 2 years. I'm serious. Ghana
Wow.
is close to here. Kenya is here. And everybody is copying Nigeria. You understand?
True though.
So
Yes.
yeah. So all you have to do is that since you're a startup, they are a startup, and you're doing pretty much the same thing, synergize, Nigeria know they carry last, then expand
Exactly.
together, Like I said, it's in Atlanta, you're there. Before you know what's
Mm-hmm.
happening, you have to go to Nairobi, you have to go to here, and
Exactly.
that's it. See us now, all our computers, they're made in China, Vietnam, but it gets to us by American companies, so
Mm-hmm.
let's go for it. Because I'm one of those people that gave up on Nigeria. You understand? And this program, Startup and Innovators, give me a lot of hope. I'm telling you. You can't
Yeah.
imagine how excited I am when I talk to people like you. I'm telling you, I'm really, really
No,
reinvigorated.
no, no. Africa is not, we don't have this scarcity in terms of ideas.
I
Even
guess.
we
And
don't,
talent also.
and talent, we don't. We don't. We have it in abundance. We only just need that environment that allows us to flourish. And the sky is just going to be our starting point.
Thank you so much, Rebecca Adedire. So everybody listening, you can see the future is very bright. Future of Nigeria is
Yes.
bright.
Thank
She's
you
first
very
class
much.
chemical, petrochemical engineering. She was top of her class in MBA, even though she didn't check, but she knows that she was the best. I love that. In all the discussion, I really like. They didn't even bother to check. I know I was the top because they always copy you. I mean, everybody comes to you.
Exactly. Like
Eh,
I'm
so
the go-to person for
yeah, the
any
go-to
question.
person. And you see, you'll be shocked that you might have to go into politics in future. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, if you look at Dr. Obiese Kwesili, Okonjo-Iweala, there are a lot of fantastic models like that.
Yes.
People doing well in World Bank, IMF, World Trade Organization, and maybe the next time we're talking, I'll probably have a bigger channel with,
Of course, I know. In fact,
um,
I
you'll
went
be,
through the channel, and the
you'll be the
potential is there.
CEO.
Please
Yeah,
continue.
yeah,
This
you'll be the CEO of the biggest event app management company in the world, and that kind of. So,
exactly that's the dream, and
uh,
we just hope that we get there.
amen. Thank you,
Amen. Thank you
Rebecca. To
very
all our viewers, it's a wrap. You've heard us speak, So all our details going to be in the description for this episode. Please patronize us for whatever it is what we need to encourage young startup and innovators, especially those of them from Nigeria and African origin. The future is very bright. Thank you, everybody.
much. All right, bye.
Uh,